Hey, we're back for another random discussion. I'm excited, aren't you? Never know what's going to happen in this moment. This moment that I take the time to just work on my thoughts, come up with what I really want to put out into the world, and understanding that not everything has to take a certain shape or size. That it doesn't have to be written down in a notebook. It doesn't have to be written down in a structured essay. It doesn't even have to be anything interesting. This moment is possible. That I can just be, and whatever happens during this magical moment will exist as if it was always meant to exist. And that if I didn't allow this space to exist, it wouldn't have happened. That I could have just left my phone on my desk, or worse, scrolled YouTube shorts or videos. I don't really scroll shorts. I scroll my feed. And I kind of pick and choose what I want to watch. Which isn't bad. It's good to have leisure time and passive information gathering, but I want to put something out there into the world. I want to put my unique perspective on existence out into the world. That I have inherent value, and that I need to recognize that sometimes what I think is the proper way to do something isn't the only way to do something. That by speaking, it may not feel the same as writing in a journal, but I am still collecting my thoughts. Hey, Lily. And laugh, Lily is a furry. Awesome. Hey, Ava. Oh, hi. Hey, the crammy day. Make sure to hug a furry. Oh, hi. I already did a live stream today for an hour, but I can't get away from this fantasy I have of this, like, hey, Jackson, of this, like, concept of documenting my ideas and documenting my what I have to say. That any moment we make a choice. And I get a lot of videos on my feed of people with, like, very custom setups. Like they have like notebooks that are like leather bound and all sorts of stuff I don't want to do. That feels like more like a hobby to me. That to me it's like I don't have that kind of money. I would love to have custom journals, and I can't stop buying writing utensils. One day I'll be able to afford that hobby, but in the end of the day, what I really like is something that I already have. And I have so many different ways to organize my thoughts. But sometimes if all I can end up doing, the only energy I have is to just talk to my phone, that is perfectly valid. That I can go live on my YouTube channel and just kind of speak my mind. I love journals. I love collecting different types of journals. I love collecting different types of paper. I love collecting different types of pens. I'm really into rollerball right now and gel pens. I have a fountain pen, but I've been like kind of trying to find something that's more functional, because I mean I love my fountain pen, but it's just not super easy to just grab and start writing all the time, because I don't know. I'm It's actually not even that difficult. It's just you have to make sure to keep it clean, the nib, and you have to make sure that you don't leave the reservoir with ink in it without using it. Otherwise, it'll just dry out, and then you have to really clean it. Yeah, I love just writing about stuff, and I'm really attached to the idea of just spending the entire, like, several hours a day just ungluing from social media and just writing and drawing and just thinking. And these are things that are harder and harder to they're more and more they're more and more valuable to have, to be cherished in this day and age, because it's so easy to get completely lost on social media. And I feel like there is a movement of people who are in deep need of having quiet time. And I have plenty of quiet time. A lot of it is just I can't seem to allow myself to get lost in the writing process. And I'm working on my novel, but I want to just fully immerse myself in it. And I don't know, small steps are what makes things happen. Which is like, every small steps are actually big steps. What I do every morning is I have my alarm go off, and I've been also practicing like having like my weekends, allowing myself to sleep in. But it's really important to me that as soon as my 8 a.m. alarm goes off, I get out of bed. And I've been really disciplined. But it didn't happen overnight. Pun not intended. It took many, 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 many years of figuring out like how to get myself to activate based on an intention. Behavioral activation is really difficult for me, especially because I have executive dysfunction issues related to autism and past trauma. But you have to take little baby steps. You have to say, what is the minimum that I can do, that I can say, even if it's not exactly what I want it to be, it's a step in the direction, and you have to just keep doing that. So as soon as the alarm goes off, I get up and I stand up. It doesn't matter, like, what else happens that day. As soon as I stand up, I make my coffee, I do my morning exercises, I do 10 squats. I toss a basketball in the air, it gets the blood pumping. I drink my coffee, I play a game of solitaire free cell with real cards. It's good for the mind. It gets my mind activated. And then as soon as I'm done with that, I put the cards away. Hopefully I won the game. But if I don't win right away, I'll depending on how long the game was, if it was really short, I'll shuffle and redeal. If it was like kind of decent and I just hit a brick wall, it doesn't really matter. I accept that I hit a brick wall. I put the cards away, and then I bring out my free write and I start typing. And I would hopefully write about my novel, but lately I've been hitting a brick wall in that. But it doesn't really matter, because the goal isn't to write my novel right now. My goal is to activate the behavior of writing. And if that means writing for 5 minutes, just typing whatever comes to mind, journaling, or writing a novel or scene from my novel, or writing ideas down, writing about something that's interesting to me, just writing anything for 5 minutes. And hopefully I'd write 20 to 30 minutes. But it's actually really important to write for 5 minutes and then accept that that is a success. Because it is. That is a behavior activation. It is to be celebrated. It's not worse just because it was only 5 minutes. It's special because you took action. And that's important to remember, because these mindsets that we put ourselves in, these thoughts of, I'm not good enough unless I ... Those are limiting beliefs, and they have the opposite effect of what you intend. Because when you start saying, I'm not actually writing because I only wrote for 5 minutes, sure, you may not write a whole bunch in 5 minutes, but it doesn't really matter, because over time that 5 minutes becomes so second nature to you that you can do that without even trying. And before you know it, you're not just doing 5 minutes a day, you're doing 5 sets of 5 minutes. You write for 5 minutes, you take a whatever break, you do another 5 minutes, you do a break, you do 5 minutes, and you just keep going. You don't have to do it all at once. Ideally, you get into flow state and you write for several hours. Okay, but not everybody can be Stephen King. Okay, he didn't get there overnight. He spent his whole life writing. By the time he finished Carrie, he had already been teaching English in a school. I think he was like a college instructor. Like he was like an English professor, or something like that. Like he had already had a lot of practice writing. And more importantly than just writing, but writing complete projects, which is something that I struggle with. But, I can't get there if I don't start small. Start with singular, focused goals. And if that means pulling out my phone and talking to my YouTube channel, then that's good enough. Because if I don't do anything, I'm going to hate myself. I'm going to feel miserable. I'm going to blame myself when all I could do is just take some kind of action. It's not what I want to be doing. I would rather be sitting here with my typewriter, or my laptop, or my notebook. But if I idealize this process of writing to the point that I don't write, then that defeats the purpose of the writing tools. The writing tools are just that. They're tools. But I'm the writer. Like Alan Moore was talking about writing. When you want to be a writer, okay, you have to understand something that I've deeply held my entire life, is that it's not about what I write, it's that I am writing. I am the person with the beliefs. I am the person with the ideas. I am the person who sees the world in the unique way I do. I'm the one pulling the different related topics and connecting them in ways that may have not been connected before. I have power to put out into the world what I want to see change in the world. That is what a writer is. The stuff that you write, that's just a byproduct of that. It can be really, really, really good product, but it's still just a byproduct. And it's important that I understand that talking into a microphone is just as valid as writing with a fancy pen and paper, or a simple pen and paper, or a pencil, or a typewriter, or a digital typewriter, or a laptop, or my PC, or my phone. Get those ideas out. And right now it's this idea of stop holding yourself back and just seize the moment. That if I don't feel the energy to sit down and write for whatever reason, I can still pull my phone out and start going live and talking to my phone. I don't know what's up with my little twitch of a smile. It's like every now and then I'm like, I've been feeling like a weird, like kind of cute button nose, like little rabbit twitch ever since I had my facial surgery in 2023. Because I feel like I have a cute little nose. I do. I do have a cute little nose. Lately, I've been trying to accept that I have a lot more going for me than I give myself credit for. But sometimes I get a little bit lost in my own bullshit. That I've given myself so little credit for what I've accomplished. And if nothing else, I know that I rely on this a lot for not inspiration, but for a reminder. I achieved transgender surgeries. That's not a small feat. It's something to be proud of. And it's a constant reminder that if I set a goal, I will do whatever it takes to get to the finish line. And that's a strength. Like, that's an actual strength. I have a skill. And learning how to leverage that skill is going to be the main focus. It's like it's not easy to harness and channel those kind of skills. It's so easy to. It's not even easy to have them, but once you have them, it's not a guarantee. Like, you have to channel them. You have to direct them. You have to say, like, how can I translate those skills into something new? Because I had to build everything from scratch. And it was really touch and go there for a while. And everything else that I want in life is going to be the same. But I know that I can do it. I don't know exactly how, but I know that I will. And, there's things that I don't feel are possible at this moment because of certain resources. And the more I think about them, the more upset I get because I feel so powerless, because nothing I do seems to make a difference. I feel so powerless to change my situation. And the more I think about it, the more I feel powerless. Because I just get more and more reminders that there's nothing I can do, or at least nothing I've been able to do on my own. And I have to rely on external resources that are being really frustratingly slow. And that's really difficult for me. Because I want to take action. I want to do something. But at this time, it's like I'm on a life raft. And I'm trying to go whitewater rafting when I'm on an emergency life raft. Okay, my goal is to survive long enough to get to shore. The whitewater rafting can come when I'm more prepared. Like right now, I just have to get to shore. I have to survive. And I have to accept that there are things that I can do. And one of those is like, hey, like, what are some compromises? How about I put my energy into writing right now? It doesn't mean I'm giving up on other endeavors, but it does mean that I'm making use of this time more effectively than I could. That I could just, I just don't have the energy right now to pursue other goals. And beating myself up about it isn't going to help that. Writing about it, honestly, is not really going to change that either. Hey, Mark. Mark a Lark. Mark a Lark. Oh, hi. Mark a Lark. Stay strong. Sometimes just looking at myself and realizing I'm looking at myself in the mirror on my phone, and I see a much more beautiful woman staring at me. And it's not just because of the facial surgery. But I see this beautiful woman on my phone. She's beautiful for so many reasons. And she's kind of pretty because of facial surgery. But I see something inside of her that is aching to let go of this need to do things a specific way. Yeah, what's up, Bean Bass? Bean Bass? Gotta flip that bean. That sometimes, like, these little moments that we think are a waste of time are actually sometimes the most important that we could ever have. That at this time in my life, I think it's so hard to see right now, but later on it's going to be very clear. I think I'm in the part of my life that I've seen happen in many people, where they go through a period of time of reflection, a period of time where they transform their inner world to become the strong person they are externally. This is the kind of, like, this is the stuff that I'm going to be writing about in the future as being an extremely tumultuous but extremely profound transformative experience of my life, is going through this process of finding out what my process is, finding out who I am now that I'm done with all my surgeries. There's a lot of blank space, and it's a little bit intimidating, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, this is the beginning of my chapter. This is going to be this time where I just need to sit and do some deep work. Like, truly collect everything that I want to collect about myself in a journal. Because if I can't know deep down what my strengths are, who I am, and what I want to put out in the world, then nothing I write is going to have any meaning. I'm not even going to be able to finish it, most likely. I might. But it's important that I write with a level of strength inside of my heart where I am just need to accept that I am in a period of deep, profound self-learning. I'm a woman, and I'm a strong woman. I'm a woman who knows what she needs and goes and gets it. I'm a woman who sees a challenge and does whatever it takes, even if it's the smallest possible thing I can do every single day. And I will relentlessly attack at that. Even if it's sitting down after waking up and getting out of bed immediately after my alarm goes off, that's a success. Making a coffee and using the time that it's brewing to go do some physical exercise to wake my body up, that's a success. Enjoying my coffee and playing a game of solitaire free cell with real cards to wake up my mind after waking up my body, that's a success. Finishing the game and then pulling out my digital typewriter to write for 5 minutes, that's a success. Those things may seem small, but if I can do that every day and allow it to organically, over time, grow into something that is a sustainable habit, I will be unstoppable. My next step, which I'm going to start doing, is like tomorrow, is after I do my writing, I want to go for a short walk. Even if it's just down, like, just like a 2 or 3 minute walk. The important part is the behavior activation. I am telling my brain that this is the activity that I am doing after doing this previous activity. It has so much power to transform your life. People like to try to take on too much. Like, New Year's resolutions, like, I think February has the most gym membership cancellations out of every month in the year. There's a reason. Because everybody wants to have this big transformative shift. But the transformation doesn't happen with the activity. It happens here. And it happens in small ways over time. That's true transformation. Hey, High Life. The thing is that if you try to say, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to work out, I'm going to run for an hour, I'm going to lift a whole bunch of weights for an hour, I'm going to do everything, I'm going to do a whole cross-circuit training every day, you're going to burn out. Hey, High Life, enjoy those beers. Those Miller High Lifes. Oh, hi. I see what you're doing there. Are you like the Dr. Pepper guy, but with Millers? It's so important that I recognize that what I am doing right now is building me up to be the kind of person that I will be for the rest of my life. And that by setting these insanely small and attainable goals and adhering to them relentlessly day after day, the intensity and the time spent will naturally be able to be expanded. That 5 minutes of writing can turn into 20 minutes of writing. That 20 minutes of writing can turn into an hour of writing. That 5 minutes of walking can turn into 10 minutes, can turn into 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. I know I can do an hour a day. It would be so easy for me to just start doing an hour, but then I'm trying to build behavior activation right now, and my focus is on starting the activity. And I'm purposely building discipline by forcing myself to only do a small amount. Because my nature is to go all the way and like put like a whole hour into it. But I already know that that is not sustainable. That if I truly want to finish my work, build a career, achieve anything that I set my mind to, it needs to start with consistency being the primary goal. And building consistency is a very different problem to solve than doing a short-term intensity. I was able to do short-term intensity. I was able to get my diabetes stuff in check. I got my A1C down from 7.2 to 6.7 in a single month so that I could get back on the surgery schedule. And then I had the surgery. And I had a spectacular results. Spectacular recovery. There were some scary moments, but it was all good. And there's long-term things I'm kind of watching out for and dealing with something right now, but I don't need to talk about it. The fact that I'm transitioning into a state of just having regular concerns, like regular issues, like it's like underwhelmingly overwhelming. Like having like these small things that seem small, but that's what I worked for. So that I could have small problems. Normal problems. That's what I worked so hard for. And now that I'm here, it's like I don't have to solve everything in a single week. You know, that's not going to be possible. Why not? You stupid bastard. I was able to sustain for a very short time, like several months, high intensity workouts, like an hour a day of walking at minimum, and like an extremely like strict, extremely healthy and strict diet. I need to do more dancing videos, High Life. But I'm not quite ready to do that. Like I'm saying, I could. But I am trying to build sustainable daily habits. And that's a very different problem to solve than just doing the work. It's a matter of intention, it's a matter of follow through, and it's a matter of daily consistency. Which means I have to start with small things. So maybe I should do one dancing, like you know, maybe just dance for like 15 seconds a day. I'll make a 15-second dancing video every day. What I'll do is I'll learn a dance. It can be the easiest or stupid dance possible. And then I'll do a dance, make a YouTube short every single day. And how about I'll do that right after I'm done writing in my journal every day. And then I'll go for a walk after I upload it. And I won't check my phone to see if it, like the analytics, until I get back from my walk. That's what I'm going to do, High Life. You just inspired me to create a new actionable step. And I will do a step. Step in time, step in time. 76 trombones and the bummer. Marian, the librarian. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. Now you're gonna have to watch Music Man, High Life. Look what I started. Good night, Lucas. Good night, Ned. Smooth shadows on the trail. Sweet little cowboy, all the things. Da-da-da. My little buttercup. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Now you're gonna have to watch Three Amigos, High Life. Look what I started. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Anyway, I'm out of intelligible thoughts. Yeah, I just... tiny little steps every day. Before I know it, things are going to start going to start working out for me. And I trust myself that when things start with the people who are going to help me with life skills coaching and with housing, once things get moving, I'm going to trust myself that I am going to do whatever it takes, that I am going to be available and receptive. Like, I trust myself. And there's nothing else any of us can do. That no matter what challenge awaits us, the only thing we can truly do is to be there and be ready. Ready for what? Anything.